Hey everybody, it's Muscle Car Campy and we're back in Nova Heaven. SS 396 L78 aluminum heads, 4-speed. Yes, it's a L78 with L89 heads and it's owned by one Christopher Teed. If that name sounds familiar, it's because we've done 2 other videos on his other Novas. He's got a super rare SS 396 with 350 horsepower, and we also did a video on his dark blue L78 car a few years ago. Don't forget, before we get started, hit that subscribe button. That way you're notified every time a new video goes live. We've got modern muscle cars coming. We've got classic muscle cars coming. We've got pure stock drag cars coming, just like the one you see here. You won't want to miss any of them. You know, there's so much to like about this car. Not only is it a Nova SS, which I love, of course, but it's a 68. It's the last year for the key on the instrument panel. It's a stick. I mean, oh, it reminds me so much of my SS 509 project that I did when I was at Super Chevy. That was a low 10-second car, 509 cubes. You know, these Novas are such simple cars. The thing I like perhaps the most is not just that it's an L78 car. The fact that Christopher has owned this car since 1979 when he was just 16 years old. That he's been able to hold on to it all this time. I mean, genuine L78 car. Now he's racing it with the L89 aluminum heads, and he's going to tell us all about that in a few minutes. What the tricks are to get him running right. But think about it, this car still has the markings on the firewall that came with the car. I mean, it's just a time capsule under the hood. You know, it's not every day that we get to do 3 cars owned by one person. But now we're joined by the legendary, a legend that'll last the lunchtime, Christopher Teed. Christopher, congratulations on keeping the car roll this time. How did that happen? I mean, sometimes, you know, you're buying a house, you need money, something happens and the car disappears. How did you keep this car roll this time?
You know, there's a couple times I had a chance to sell it when I was in college and put it out in front of my parents' house for sale, and a couple guys come and looked at it. I just didn't have the heart to sell it. My dad says, if you're not ready to sell it, don't sell it.
Because you almost never get them back.
No, and I'm glad I did. It was a good decision. Now I'm glad I kept it all these years. So.
And you seem to, do these Novas just follow you home, these Chevy 2s? You've got 3 of them.
I just like the body style. The style of the quarters and the car. That's just a nice, good design by Chevrolet. So
it absolutely
is.
You know,
Yeah, just like the way it was designed.
Roofline. It's almost like a miniature Chevelle. It's like a scaled-down version.
Absolutely. So, and I always like the long back of the quarters. Similar Chevelle, but not a Camaro, but just like a combination of the two. They call the car the grocery getter, but it's a little more than that. So
it absolutely is. You know, it's funny because I had a 72 SS 350 4-speed car. What was really fascinating to me was that when I got the owner's manual, I bought an owner's manual for it because it didn't have one. And it's like 20 pages. There's nothing to it because these cars had nothing. It wasn't like you were going to load them up with cruise control and air conditioning.
Absolutely.
And all those crazy things. These things, especially the way you buy them, they're all about the horsepower.
And what everybody forgets, something like maybe a Camaro, it does have a little bit of overhang, so you can get a little bit of weight on the back of the, back of the car. You can put the back tire there. You can fill it with water. You can do whatever you can. You got accessibility to do that because you have that length to do it. There is a little bit more to them than what they think a Nova is.
And you know what? You mentioned the big trunk, and it's funny because even though it was considered a compact car in the day, this could be a family car. You had an extremely decent sized trunk. Tell me, you know, which of your Novas do you like the best?
I'd have to say this one. I've had it for so long, and it just runs really well. Did a lot of work, I don't know if I use the term technology, but my motor guy in Eustis, Florida was an older drag racer named Glenn Treadwell. The guy who took over his shop is the guy I worked for. His name was Mark Fields. It's called Hustle Machine. It's on the front of the car. And Zeke is one of his lead guys there. They really take a lot of time putting the motor together. We dynoed it, we've taken it apart, we dynoed it, we changed camshafts. they're really smart. Glenn has taught these guys a lot of stuff, and he's been racing a long time, and he's just really enthusiastic. And the last time we went to lunch, we was putting this thing back together. He says, I got you. I got to figure it out.
You figured
it's going to be legal within the rules, but I got to figure it out. Old racing stuff still works today. A lot of guys just forgot what they used to do.
And I remember reading road tests from back in the day when the L89 heads became available, and a lot of people said they didn't make as much horsepower as the iron heads, whether they didn't transfer the heat as well or retain the heat as well. I don't know what the actual story was. Did you find that to be the case?
What I kind of found, some people say keep it really, really cool, 140 or 170. I found that like this car's okay at 150 or 160. If you want your best ET, just keep it, it'll slow down a little bit at 180, but you can keep it in the 140, 160 range. That's where it runs its best ET. And this car is really a matter. Everybody talks about seat time. That is important too. We do little adjustments on the clutch. I've ran a Ram clutch for a long time. I like it. The guy who owns Ram clutches, a lot of times your tech guy when you call him, Mike always tells me he knows what we're doing. He goes, "Did you guys run these little tires? We're gonna have, one of our better clutches is that it actually is ceramic on the back half, but regular organic on the flywheel side." So you can roll up on the clutch a little bit without burning up the clutch.
And I remember you telling me this was your favorite clutch that you've ever had in any of your stuff.
I won't mention the other brands, but I've had so much good luck with Ram. And Mike and over them at Ram Clutches has been really helpful. They understand racing a lot. They do a lot of their own house stuff. And Mike asked me for feedback. He's a guy who really cares.
Yeah.
So, I may even call him this week and says, I had a few issues with it a while back, and I asked him, and he came up front, and he told me he's real up front with me, and he goes is it spinning the tires in a second? I said, if the track's not really good, he goes, so when the track's like that, you got to pull back on the shift point, or you just some days you got to roll up and go home.
True.
Because you can only burn the disc for so long. Yeah. So we find that so the first pass I normally make at the track, the second gear shift, I'll shift it down a little low just to see what the track gives me. Whatever the track you give me is what I'll give it. So
now you ran a 1206 earlier, and it is not a cool day.
No, we got
probably 2500 DA.
A little bit of a 10 mile an hour probably headwind at times.
So how did you go? I mean, I think your best pass ever in this is what?
It's ran 1198 on one pass.
All right, you take away that 10 mile an hour headwind, then
it's there. It's there.
This car right now might be headed for its best run ever. Like I said, it's just tough with that headwind.
It is, and I think what I figured out from doing this car has a 456 gear in it. At first, I didn't like the gear because I just couldn't get a handle on it, and everybody's got their own opinion, but it had a wide box in it. We changed it, and it has a M22, an original Muncie box in here.
Okay.
221st gear. I think it helps it because, in my opinion, if you can't use the wide box and make up the 60 foot,
sure,
in the 60 foot, the wide box, it doesn't serve a purpose.
But that's the M20 you're talking about, which
Correct.
has actually, in theory, better ratios
Correct.
for drag racing.
Correct.
However, with 456s, how much first gear do you need?
Right.
Especially when you're launching on these little tires.
If you could get it to launch a little better, but with the 56 and the motor changes we did, it snuck a little more horsepower out of it, and we was pretty sure that the M22 close box was the way to go.
All right.
Yeah, it's got that wind and everything, but I'm okay with that. This makes like 520 on the dyno. I won't go over everything, but the one benefit that I have is it's got 842 heads, aluminum AR9 heads. The one benefit I had is I had one NOS head. I could find another head, but it was a lot of money. So I actually knew a guy through some friends. His name's Rick Mann. He used to work for Bolas back in the day. He was the crew chief for Dale Earnhardt for a couple years. He was head of research and development. He grew up and worked at Bolas for a long time. Really smart guy. I know him through some friends. Real good guy. I called him one day, and because I had one head that basically blew up, just took the seat out, just sucked up on a chassis dyno. So I called Rick and I go, he goes, Chris, send me the heads, let me look at them. Send me the NOS head and the damaged head and the other head. So I sent everything to him, and he calls me back. He goes, you know what you need. I said, what's that? He goes, we need to find another NOS head. Because I'll tell you why. When you buy other heads and all the heads, every machinist does different things. You'd be surprised how much a matched set of heads that the heads don't have any port work done. We cleaned them up. We cut some angles on them. We did some minor stuff. Got beryllium seats in there. But when you do a leak down on this car, everything's like 2 and 3%. So it's like dead on the numbers. But it doesn't have any. There's no port work. It's just guys that know how to really put motors together. And Rick helped me out. And I'm not sure if it's Ray Everham or one of the guys. He has a list of friends in North Carolina, and he called around. In like 5 days, he calls me one night at like 9:30 at night. He goes, you ain't gonna believe this. I found you another head. Here's the deal. It's a Corvette guy up here. But the one head you have NOS is the matching number of head they're trying to finish a car with. So he's got 2 NOS heads. The date codes are just a little off, but they're in a GM box. He goes, if we start from there, we'll start it. We will put beryllium seats in there because they seem to have a tendency to work with the old aluminum. He says, we'll machine the heads, we'll get the machines right. I'll send them back to market, muscle machine in Eustis, and you guys can go from there.
That's Eustis, Florida.
In Eustis, Florida. But the heads originally came from Rick Mann, who at one time was crew chief at Dale Earnhardt. Rick has a lot of connections and knows a lot of people. And then he told us, because he's all stock, he goes, I'm a stock car guy, but I'm really a stock eliminator guy. So he says, I know what you need to do. He goes, what people don't understand about these cars, you run stock manifolds. You don't need to do any port work, and it's not legal what you're doing. But the guys that are doing that, he goes, you take an LS head, all the runners are small. All you got to do is sometimes just make the runners smaller.
Well, when you're using stock manifolds, and these are not great manifolds from the factory, not like a Corvette big block manifold.
Yeah.
You can only use so much flow.
So, we played a lot on the dyno. It's got the 12.5 to 1, the pure stock allows us. But I really think have an opportunity to have a set of heads still in the GM box and do just some minor things to them. And we have a nice oiling system. We actually have some stuff. I don't want to go over to that because that's stuff we found out on our own. But we have some oiling system working here. This car doesn't run a lot of oil pressure. It doesn't even go through the traps with 20 pounds of oil pressure.
Wow.
That's the way we designed the motor. But my motor guy says too, when you get down in, I can't have you let off the throttle. You got to slap it neutral. I'd rather you just roll out the throttle.
Sure.
And it scares me to death, but that's the way he built the motor. So, and I've done so much of this pure stock racing. When I go to his dyno, I already know what we need to do. We play with lashes. I've always been a big favorite of the bullet cams. They know what we do. They've designed a lot of different camshafts within the walls, and they're just they have a couple guys there that understand stock manifolds, and they know what we do. They have a list of camshafts that they give away. Some they don't give away, but we've developed our own camshaft for this car. That we kind of keep a secret to ourselves, but it's all legal within the limits. But it has a lot. The only thing I will tell you, surprisingly enough, this camshaft has a lot of low center. It's ground on a 115, which people think that's crazy, but it works on stock manifolds. So.
Well, that's what, and the best part for you is that you're running faster today than your friend Bruno.
And Bruno is my longtime friend. He is one of my toughest competitors. That's a guy's a gear jammer. It's always a good race for me and Bruno because it's really who's 60 foot and cut the tree who wins the race.
Bruno has an SS396 L89 car as well, L78 car, and these two guys are right together, and it's always fun to see them battle out at the track. Well, Christopher, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, everybody, that's a wrap. Jim Camposano saying thank you very much, Christopher Teed. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll be back soon. And as I always say, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We got lots of cool videos coming out. You won't want to miss any of them.